All right, guys, welcome back to the Chooches. And today we're going to be taking a look at this 2023 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xE. Now, the 4xE is the hybrid version of the Wrangler, and today we're just going to kind of go over what makes it different, what's better, what's worse, how does it drive, and should you buy this Wrangler instead of a regular gas-powered one. Overview about what the 4xE is. So for the 2018 model year, they came out with this generation Wrangler, which is the JL. However, the 4xE did not come out until the 2021 model year. This one is a 2023, and this is the last year before the facelifted version comes in. Now, this one is completely stock. In fact, it hasn't even had an owner yet. This is brand new. I took it on an overnight test drive, per se, compared to my 2021 that's sitting over there, and that's just a regular gas-powered one. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to pull that one next to it. We're going to go over all the things that are different, and then we're going to talk about some of the features, benefits, and drawbacks of the 4xE. All right, let's go over some of the differences between the regular Wrangler and the 4xE here. So for starters, the 4xE has blue accents throughout the entire vehicle. So you're going to notice the front tow hooks are blue here. They're just black on the regular Wrangler like this. Moving around, you also see you have a blue 4xE decal on the hood here. You have blue kind of surround around the Rubicon lettering here. And then same with the Jeep, Wrangler, and the trail rated badge. Additionally, you have a plug-in hybrid port right here. You do not obviously get anything there on the regular Wrangler, but this is where you can plug in if you have a home charger or if you're out and about and you want to charge it up. You do get up to 21 miles of all-electric range. Otherwise, you can just use it in a hybrid mode and have it switch back and forth. Moving on to the interior, once again, you will see you have blue stitching throughout, all through the seats, steering wheel. Very nice touch. Otherwise, the interior is pretty much the same for the most part as a regular Wrangler. Couple differences. One, you have an LED strip up here. That kind of tells you your charge. Each light lights up every 20%. That way, if you're standing outside, you can see how much charge you have. This is all pretty much the same with the exception of that button right there. That button is for the regenerative braking. And then there's some Rubicon only controls here. You do have to get the four-wheel drive transfer case here that you can put it in four-wheel auto. A regular Wrangler like that one has it where you just put it in four-wheel drive, it's stuck in four-wheel drive. This one will actually decide for you when you need the four-wheel drive. You have to get that on the 4xE. Other than that, everything is pretty similar. The gauges are for the most part pretty similar, except you do have a gauge here for your power level. So it's not power level as in battery charge, but how much acceleration are you using. If you have it to the floor, it's going to be 100%. And the charge indicator, it'll drop down to see how much regenerative braking you're doing, stuff like that. You still have a digital display here. On the regular Wrangler, that's your speedometer, but you can just put the speed in the middle there. Other than that, the last thing that's different is the buttons here. So this is for your drive modes. Hybrid is your regular everyday drive mode. You're going to be in that, and it's going to switch between gas and electric as it sees needed. Electric is going to force it into pure electric, and then eSave will not let it use electricity, and you can either set it to recharge the battery, or you can have it just preserve the battery and not worry about recharging it. The last big thing that's different on the Wrangler, and this is the one sacrifice that you make for the 4xE, is that the battery is underneath the seat. So you lift up the seat here, you can kind of see this is where a majority of your hybrid components are, and you do unfortunately lose that storage. So the biggest difference with the 4xE versus the regular Wrangler is the powertrain. So on my Wrangler over here, I have the optional 3.6 liter V6. You can order this with the 4-cylinder, but that comes standard in the 4xE. So this is a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4. Now, power difference, this does make quite a bit more power. This makes 285 horsepower and 265 foot-pounds of torque. This makes 375 horsepower and 485 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that torque is pretty crazy, but you do get that extra torque with the electric. If you're using this in just gas, you're not going to get that kind of power. You're not going to get that kind of torque. It is important to note that you have to be in hybrid mode to get the full power and the full torque out of this. But obviously, it comes down to personal preference and what you like. But if you are deciding on the 4xE, you cannot get a 6-cylinder, and that you have to take the 2-liter inline 4. So the last thing I want to talk about before we take this thing out for a drive is the pricing. So when I ordered this one in 2021, now keep in mind, this is a Willys. This is about a mid-range model, but it's pretty well equipped. It's got adaptive cruise control. It's got the power sliding roof. It's pretty much got almost every option you can get, minus a couple ones on the Willys. Sticker was right around $51,000. This one, Rubicon 4xE, 2 years later, is over $75,000. And this is, I mean, there's some options on this, but I think there's even a few more that this doesn't have. And, here's the thing. It's a hybrid, and I understand it's going to cost more, but that's a crazy difference for two cars like this. I mean, that's 50% more. So that is something to consider with the electric cars and the hybrid cars especially. Now, the one thing that is kind of cool about this is that they're changing the law next year. So I'm shooting this in September 2023, and in 2024, they're actually making it so the $7,500 federal tax credit you get can be applied as a down payment. That's a 10% down payment on this, which is obviously pretty expensive, and you wouldn't have to pay that out of pocket. So that is something that's kind of cool. They are trying to incentivize these hybrid vehicles, and there's some of these sitting on lots right now, and you can get them at a discounted rate. You might not be paying sticker for them. So in typical Chooch fashion, I test drive this thing without the doors. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun. I don't have to take the doors off mine. Then I realized that this is probably gonna make for some awful audio on the video, so I am sorry, guys. Thank you to me for doing that. In the 4xe Wrangler, so the first thing that you notice is that you do get a nice extra little push of power. That is huge. I mean, I don't like that about my Wrangler. I think it is a little underpowered, especially if you got like loaded up going up a mountain or something, like I have had it happen. But you know, it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's quick, but it's not like still knock your socks off. It's no Tesla, you know, crazy 0 to 60 in 2 seconds acceleration, but it's definitely nice. For me, the thing that I'm not a huge fan with the way this drives is the sound of it. There's good sounding 4-cylinders out there. There's good sounding turbocharged 4-cylinders out there. We have 2 of them on the channel. The Elise and the Camaro both sound pretty decent. Camaro's turbocharged, the Elise is not. But this one doesn't. It sounds like a leaf blower. It's just not very good, and it kind of annoys me, and it's probably worse I got the doors off and the top down, but I just don't like how it sounds. The other thing that is a benefit with this car, where, you know, obviously you suffer with the sound, but you do get way better gas mileage. So, I mean, we've made fun of my Wrangler all the time on the channel for how bad the gas mileage is.
Hey, what are we getting for mileage in this thing?
It's great. We're getting, look at that, it's going up. 25, 26, dude, this thing's like a Prius. we gotta throw a bag out, John. We're down to 16 here.
Yeah, no shit.
And this one, you know, they claim 49 miles per gallon with the electricity, you know, hybrid boost and everything like that. But you only get 19 or 21 miles of full electric range. This one had 19 when I got in it. So that is one thing. You know, if you're running around town, sure, that's great. You don't have to worry that much about, you know, using the gas-powered engine. But, you know, on a longer trip, obviously you're not going to get the crazy good gas mileage. One of the beefs that I do have with the way that this drives is the braking. So the regular brakes feel fine, but even with the max regeneration on, it just doesn't slow you down that much. And it will, I mean, it's okay, but it will not come to a complete stop. Once you get to 5 miles an hour, it pretty much cuts off and you still have to use the brakes. Unlike the Teslas, where you can kind of just use that to completely stop the vehicle, that is not something, see, it's just rolling, that this can do. Other than that, though, it drives a lot like a Wrangler. It probably handles a little bit better under load. I'm not going to push this thing because A, it's not my car, and B, it's a Wrangler. But you do have a lower center of gravity with the hybrid stuff, and that will kind of help out with that. But other than that, like I said, nice increase in power. Sound sucks. You do get better gas mileage. So it's not perfect. But ultimately, I mean, I think this is a glimpse into the way, you know, what's going to end up happening with the Wranglers. I mean, they're probably going to go electric at some point. I'm sure it's going to be, you know, better as time goes on. They're going to come out with a better 4xe version, you know, more range and more power and all that stuff. But I think that this is, you know, it's a good, honestly, it's a good car, and you know, it's not for everybody. Price is a little high, but with all the rebates and the you know, the manufacturer incentives and the government incentives, I think it's not too bad. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you take this over a normal Wrangler. I would personally, if I could have anything, I want the 392. I know that's not, you know, the efficient choice here, but you know, to each their own. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. But the scheduling schedule, and then this is accents throughout the vehicle. So you have the two Bluetooth 4xe is in the back here. So this is where some of the hybrid battery components